Hello, I'm Reginald Bush, and I'm the Area Director for White Plains Community Action Program, located at 70 Ferris Avenue here in White Plains. The White Plains Community Action Program is a program that's under the WestCOP or Westchester Community Opportunity Program umbrella. We service individuals who are at or below the poverty line. We service transitional individuals, those who may be in transition of a new job or just out of incarceration, or those high school aged individuals who are needing help with studies and employment and training. We have an emergency food pantry, and we just do so much stuff here in the community of White Plains. Today, White Plains CAP Talks is very fortunate and pleased to have with us Mr. Wayne Francis. Hi, Wayne.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good. So, Wayne, I must tell you, is a native here of White Plains, and so I'd like for Wayne to tell us, who is Wayne Francis?
Well, Wayne Francis is a graduate of White Plains High School back in 1993.
Wow.
So I am alumni from the school there, and just had a wonderful time being a part of this community. It was very transitional for my life. Getting to meet with a lot of different people, a multicultural community, getting plugged in with the arts and a lot of different things that happen in this community with sports and services, and it was just a very exciting and energetic atmosphere to be in. So I moved away after going to college out of state, graduated from Indiana Wesleyan University, and then ended up coming back to New York about a year ago. So
Really?
not a lot of people leave and come back, but
But you did.
yeah, absolutely.
And so, did something draw you back home, or and first of all, were you born and raised here, or you just kind of was born somewhere else and then spent
Born
the
and
rest of
raised
your
in the
life?
Bronx, actually.
In the
Yeah,
Bronx,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'm a native New Yorker, so
Okay,
I've got
okay.
street cred there.
So you graduate. You went to Indiana Wesleyan University, and I think you did some traveling or something in there, right?
Yeah, I was an itinerant speaker for a while. I was a creative director for a not-for-profit organization for about 5 or 6 years, and that allowed me to travel all across North America and the world, speaking to young people, actually, all around the world, in churches and leadership conferences, etc. So I've had a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to see a lot of different places.
Now, when you said you would speak to a lot of youth and such across the country, what did you talk about, or what was some of the focus of your not-for-profit group?
A lot of it was inspirational and spiritual in nature, or skill development. It was a lot of youth groups at churches, faith-based community type events, and also leadership with young leaders that were looking to kind of develop their skill sets and so on. So it was very, very diverse. Sometimes it was about creativity, how to nurture creativity, because obviously I was creating short films and websites and all different types of things like that. So it was very, very diverse.
Oh, really? Oh, so some of this was technical. Oh, it sounds like a lot of it was technical in nature, and then, or I guess, would you call that media?
Yeah, media, how to use social media effectively, and then again, a large part of it was preaching and teaching to young people spiritual principles that would help them to live a healthy and holistic life, spiritual life. So it was really,
Really?
yeah.
So now that begs the question. And so you have a spiritual side. Is that what it sounds like? You have a spiritual side going
Yeah,
on
absolutely. One of the reasons why I came back to, well, the primary reason I came back to New York was to start a church here in the city of White Plains. I felt like it was so transformational for me being here, and one of the ways that I wanted to come back and serve the city, not only getting involved in a very, pragmatic sense with the community, but also a spiritual context in terms of just helping people live a very healthy life and transform life. And so we started a church from scratch with about 9 different people that I recruited from across the country and said, hey, you want to start a church for free?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And so that's here in the city of White Plains.
Absolutely.
And does it have a name, and where is it located, and
Yeah.
your services and all? I mean,
Our church
Tell
is
us a
called
little more.
Authentic Church. We're trying to just kind of break things down to the very basic ingredients of what a church should be, and so we call it Authentic Church. New Yorkers love authentic pizza, authentic Chinese food. Say, hey, they need authentic church, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
meet at Post Road School, 10 a.m. on Sundays, every Sunday, at
Okay.
authenticchurch.com if you want more information.
Oh, great. Wow. So now you, I think, have another life during the day and during the week, actually,
Yeah.
that I'd like to talk with you a little bit about, because I know that you're doing some good things. So tell us, what do you do during the day when you're not ministering and being at the Authentic Church?
I am the coalition coordinator for the White Plains Cares Coalition. And the White Plains Cares Coalition was started about 5 years ago. And basically, our mission is to create environmental strategies that help to keep White Plains a drug-free and safe community for teenagers, young adults, and families.
Okay. Now, White Plains Coalition that cares. Have they done what have they done? You've been back for, I think you said, just about a year now.
Yeah, I started.
And you pretty much, when you returned, came on board with this coalition.
Well, I got involved from the ground level as just a community member. Yeah, I just thought that it was a wonderful thing for community members to be a part of. I started going to the meetings monthly, and after a while I met Frank Williams, who talked to me a little bit about a position that was open, and I thought, well, what a great way to marry passion with service. And
Right.
and so I joined in December and started managing the action plan. I personally give oversight to the day-to-day activities, the administrative activities of our work plan, which has several different items of what we set out to accomplish in terms of placing events, trainings, different strategical procedures that continue to help the community stay drug-free and safe for teenagers.
Now, okay, so and you mentioned teenagers. So this coalition, is the focus on the youth and teenagers and such, or does it have is it multifaceted? I mean, what? Let's get into what I mean, and I'd like for our listeners to understand, because maybe some of them don't know, or never even heard of the White Plains Cares Coalition.
Right.
You know, so explain to what is it from the ground level? You know, who does it service? You know, that kind of stuff.
In a primary way, it is directed toward protecting our youth. And helping them to make healthy choices as it relates to alcohol, different beverages, and of course the illicit use of drugs. But we look at this as having residual impact, and the probably overused but still very relevant and poignant term is coined by Hillary Clinton: it takes a village to raise a child. And all of these different factors are connected to each other, and so the way our youngsters behave has a direct result on families, and the way families are operating has a direct connection to dysfunction that may occur in young people. So it really is about helping our youth, but we need our parents, our adults, concerned community members from all different sectors in the community collaborating, from faith-based to business sector to the health community to human services. There's so many different stakeholders that we try to partner with so that we can continue to resource our community.
Oh, okay. And I know that White Plains CAP is a part of the coalition. Yes. And so but tell us, when you have these meetings and such, tell us some of the other stakeholders and organizations that are represented around the table, because the youth do have a number of things, because in my office we deal with youth services to some degree. I don't steal any of Frank's youth thunder. At least I try not to. But we do know that, because we see a lot of them that need GED help and that kind of stuff. So tell me some of the other stakeholders that are around the table.
Yeah, absolutely. The YWCA partners with us, the YMCA. We also have a representative rather from the district attorney's office. We have a middle school prevention aid in 2 of our middle schools, a high school prevention aid, technical assistance that's provided from student assistance services from the county perspective. We also have, I think I mentioned the YMCA.
Yes.
Is a part of the Downtown Business Association of White Plains. It partners with us.
How about the recreation department? I would think that they would.
Yes, recreation department. Of course, your organization partners with us, and there's so many different people. We have different reverends that represent the faith-based community. The White Plains Hospital has been on board. In the
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of different people that come to the table.
Yeah. So tell us about
And community members, of course.
Okay,
Parents.
so you do parents.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
because I was going to get to that point. And obviously we have different sectors and neighborhoods here in the city, and I'll get to that in a little bit about how people, if they're interested, would like to partner and join the coalition, because I suspect that it's kind of an open thing.
Absolutely.
It's not closed
Absolutely.
where there's secret meetings. And
No. It's not the Skull and Bullet Society at all.
So tell us, Wayne, what are some of the past things over the past, I guess, half year or whatever that you've been here, because we are seemingly about to roll around to that holiday season again. Yeah, I know. Time flies, right?
Yeah,
so what are some of the things in the past year or so that you've seen happen with the coalition, functions that they've done, events, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And some of the thrusts, because I know that there have been a few projects that were done. One is, I know, the whole smoking campaign. So
Yes,
just tell us some
absolutely.
of the stuff that...
Well, we started the year with a lot of momentum. We had some cause for concern about our young people being disconnected from great employment opportunities. And again, a lot of these different factors are connected. And so, something may be happening here that could impact, risk factors for young people to, take advantage of alcohol and other drugs. So we had a forum. It was called Protecting Our Youth Forum. And we got all different types of people, from Mayor Roach to Police Chief Ann Fitzsimmons. So many different stakeholders came to the table. Marsha Gordon's office. A lot of different people came to the table, and we talked about proactive solutions to help get our young people employed, and that was a very successful event. We moved right out of that into having an ordinance passed to make our playgrounds, our trailways, our open parks tobacco-free in White Plains, smoke-free. Absolutely.
Actually, yeah, I do know that. That's right.
Yes.
So you guys, so this coalition was, would you say they were sort of the drivers?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Strategic. Okay. And of course, we worked with a lot of different community stakeholders, but we've been trumpeting that voice for a long time. And so the coalition was very involved in that. We moved from the successful passing of that into our summer months, where we went to National Night Out, an event that was hosted right here in White Plains.
Now tell us, I'm sorry, let me stop. Tell us, and because maybe some people in the audience don't know, so what is National Night Out? Okay. And what kind of participation did this group have with it?
Yeah, National Night Out is an event that's hosted in a lot of different communities across North America. That again is a prevention measure to raise awareness about safe neighborhoods, healthy neighborhoods, and what we did was have representation there to say that a safe neighborhood is a drug-free neighborhood, essentially. And we conducted parent surveys to kind of get a flavor and to discern how parents perceive the risks that their children have with alcohol and drugs, and to kind of get data so that we can strategically create some opportunities to contextualize the data and to put some strategies in place to reverse any aberrations that we see. So it was a really great event. We had probably close to 1,000 people that came to National Night Out, and this is the second year that the city of White Plains has hosted National Night Out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So now, and I'm sorry because I kind of stopped you there. So were there any other things that projects and such that you've done over the past year?
Absolutely. We've had some parent connect events where we just got out and started talking to parents and trying to pull them in, some recruitment events to kind of make the coalition membership more robust. We did some environmental strategies training so that about 15 to 20 people came to that training earlier this spring and learned some techniques.
Now, when you say environmental strategy, what is that?
Yeah, I know we're speaking in such cloak terms. Environmental strategies, basically, here's a good way to look at it. If you were to put up a no smoking sign, as in the past, if you remember, I remember as a child being on airplanes where people were smoking, and
I remember that.
Yeah. So, but after a while, the message became consistent across a lot of different ways. No smoking signs in public spaces, and so now there is no public smoking in most buildings, and so that's an environmental strategy. It's putting something in place that has residual impact after a while that changes behaviors, and so we look at a lot of different things that impact different behaviors. So something may spike in this area and you find out that it's really because obesity might be impacting a perception towards alcohol or graffiti or whatever. They're all kind of linked behaviors.
Wow. Okay. So, and I keep interrupting you.
No, that's okay. I'm having a good time. It's a great conversation.
I'm glad. And hopefully you are having a good time watching and hearing us speak, because this is just really so exciting. So, are there any other things that you've been doing with this coalition in the past year?
Yeah. The coalition didn't have leadership for about 1 year. They had transition. One of the person who had my position moved on, and so there was a little bit of a decrease in momentum. So a lot of what I've been doing, it has been gaining some influence again with community stakeholders and talking to people. But we are about to launch our youth court here in White Plains, and that is going to be a very, very exciting thing to have in our community.
Yeah. I had the honor and the pleasure to do some interviewing for the coordinator for that. So tell us, Wayne. Well, first of all, where are you in that process of getting this youth court up and running, and what is it? Who is going to be able to take advantage of it? Ill effects, if any, all that kind of stuff.
The youth court, we're hoping to debut at the first quarter of 2012. We did hire,
2012 already.
Yeah, I know. We did hire a coordinator, and basically we have been meeting with judicial figures, the PD, a lot of different people, bringing them to the table to, number one, just get the green light that they felt that having a youth court in White Plains would be a healthy thing. Basically, what a youth court is, it provides young people with an opportunity to legislate some minor offenses, and from alcohol, beverage type things, or there's lots of different levels on what can be sent to a youth court, similar to like a family court.
Oh, okay. So this is so when you talk of youth court, this is not something that is specific to, let's say, if there's some kind of infraction in the school system.
Possibly.
Okay, so possibly in the school system.
Yeah.
But is the focus more on infractions out in the community, or is it kind of a mixed bag?
It could be a mixed bag.
Yeah.
We've met with the school district, and we're trying to figure out how to collaborate with the school district as well, so that some cases can be heard by the youth court. It's a tremendous opportunity for young people, because every part of the youth court is led by a young person. So the judge, the bailiff, the council, all of that is led by young people. They have to pass a bar exam.
Really?
Absolutely.
Get out. So now there's training that goes on to these various positions, because I'm going to be the judge, of course.
Yeah.
So how are those young people going to? I mean, are they going to sit with a judge, or what is that?
There's
process?
about 10 weeks of initial training.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So it's a very strong commitment. If a young person decides that they want to be involved, we ask for about a 2-year commitment, and they get to move from different positions. You may be the bailiff and end up becoming, the judge at some point. And it's very official. We have it meets in official court space, and so when offenders come in, they're not going to think, oh yeah, this is a joke. It really is a very serious thing, and infractions can have things like community service passed on to them, maybe minor fines. It's a very, very good program, and if you look at different cities or counties that have had a youth court there, it's been not only a wonderful experience for the young people that are involved, it has helped stem the tide of infractions that happen when youngsters know that their peers will judge them. In fact, it seems as though that peers are actually harder on other peers than optimistic adults at times.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. So someone commit. I'm of course well past the teenage years.
No.
But yeah, the gray hair is really just anyway. So I've committed some infraction, and now I've got to go to this youth court, and then there will be penalties assessed to me or given to me, and what I'm hearing, I guess, and just kind of validate this. It's sort of an alternative to maybe some other harsher. That's the word I'm looking for. Reality, kind of resolution to some kind of incident that may have happened. Is that kind of what?
Absolutely. Somebody commits an offense on the property of ABC Company. ABC Company signs a deposition that says, we're, going to press charges or whatever the case is. The alternative is presented for it to be heard in a certain place. They get an opportunity for it to be heard in the youth court. The youth court, obviously, the person would plaintiff come before the court and would have the same type of situation, probably not as always as stern as it depends on the infractions. The infractions are very categorized, and so if a youngster shot somebody, they're not going to come to the youth court. It'll be for minor violations.
Okay. Wow, that's so you're saying that this is going to kick off sometime in
2012, in the spring of 2012. We're going through trainings and recruiting now, and we've met with a lot of different community stakeholders.
Which I suspect is very important. Because if those stakeholders aren't signing up for this, then I suspect. Now I don't know. You'll tell me if I'm wrong. The youth court won't be as authentic as it probably should.
Absolutely. You need a lot of different people. You need the district attorney's office giving you a thumbs up. You need PD to be working with us, because police officers may have a situation with a young person that's arrested, and they may say, this is a good opportunity for the youth court to hear this. We want to kind of give this youngster a chance to be heard by his peers, and they may say, well, this is have an opportunity now to discern where some of that can be directed. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity to establish a youth court presence in White Plains. There's been one in Putnam County. New Rochelle also has an active youth court that does a great job, and that we've looked to for best practices as well.
Oh, nice. So I suspect there's obviously got to be some kind of guidelines as it relates to and I'm not sure. So let me paint this scenario. So an individual does something, and the police, I suspect, might even be involved. Are there some kind of list that says,
if you do this, this is what's going to happen?
This will be the kind. Yes. Or is that okay? And could it also be left up to, let's say, the officer at some point that says, here's a young person who is a nice kid, but just kind of went to the left a little bit, never been in trouble, I could make life difficult for you.
Yeah.
But rather than that, let's see if we can maybe teach them a lesson. And sort of what I'm hearing is stay ahead of the curve and being a little proactive with dealing with some of these youth and offenses, so that hopefully this, I don't want to say mock court, but
Yeah.
the youth court will teach them a lesson, so that when, because with anything, people have to know, and young people have to know, and sometimes they don't think that
Right.
for every action there's a consequence,
right.
So if they stop and think like, I'm not going to do that. Remember what happened when I did that.
Yeah.
So is that kind of the...
That's kind of the gist and the feeling. And we know that from data that youngsters that go through youth court that may have caused some infraction have a very low percentage of recidivism. They don't...
Oh, good.
Yeah, it kind of really is a deterrent to, larger crimes later. So, yeah.
Nice. So, we've been chatting here with Wayne Francis, and so I've got one more area that I'd like to touch on, because I believe the CTC is involved with Red Ribbon Week.
Yes.
Tell us about Red Ribbon Week.
It's a national week that is devoted to helping communities highlight awareness about being drug-free and a healthy environment for all community members. And so during that week, there usually is a lot of emphasis on communities celebrating together just drug-free lifestyles. And the city of White Plains has been doing it for several years. This year's festivities have a lot of different things going down. You can visit whiteplainsyouthbureau.org for some more information on what that entails.
And I know that that my office, White Plains Community Action Program, is involved with part of a kickoff that's happening.
Absolutely.
And just tell us a little bit about the kickoff.
The kickoff will happen at City Hall, and there will be a press conference along with the mayor and a lot of different city officials and dignitaries that will just kind of debut the fact that White Plains celebrates not only having a very, very healthy community, but that we're looking to continue to sustain that. Red Ribbon Week started many years ago with the death of an officer in Texas in the South, and from that it has evolved into this national movement of awareness. And so we're very excited to bring it here again, and it closes with a Youth Day festivity at the Youth Bureau with lots of different games and events for families that will be happening that day.
And the Youth Bureau, in case you folks out there listening don't know, where is the Youth Bureau located?
On 11 Amherst Place in White Plains.
Place.
We share facility space with Eastview Middle School. So if you know where Eastview Middle School is,
okay,
that might be a little bit more iconic.
Okay, great. Well, Wayne, it's been very, very nice talking with you.
Yeah,
and
I love working with you. And
thank you.
And all the good work you do here in the city of White Plains.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us at White Plains Cap Talks. I'm Reginald Bush.